One of the least discussed topics about the Matrix Resurrections is the usage of social media, video games, and hobbies in general. How these suck our emotions and use them against us. The social criticism in the movie is not limited to the film industry. Some aspects are rarely touched on in other films. So in this video, we will be talking about another simulation inside the Matrix, our desires. Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
The dangers of technology in the previous Matrix movies were shown from the perspective of the planet. There were large-scale dangers and disasters, such as the machine rebellion, the destruction of the human economy, and even the destruction of the environment after Operation Dark Storm.
Thus would man try to cut the machines off from the sun, their main energy source.
Matrix 4 talks about a danger that occasionally goes unnoticed. And it's not the apocalypse or the doom of our planet and the rise of technology, but our psychological and social annihilation due to our addiction to technology and social media. The first moment that the topic of how technology affects us at a psychological level happens when Thomas Anderson is talking to his quote-unquote friend, Jude, in the cafe. Jude tells him about how the Matrix video game almost destroyed his life.
The paradox between free will and destiny. Are we all just algorithms doing what we're supposed to do, or can we escape our programming? Genius inside the context of the game, BT dubs. Hey, did I tell you it took over my life? Yeah, I failed the 7th grade. Your game almost ruined me.
This part of the film talks about how a video game can take control of your life, how your lifespan in the real world can be affected, and later we see Thomas playing in VR. Bugs also mentions how things that are important to us are buried in something as ordinary as video games.
That's what the Matrix does. It weaponizes every idea, every dream, everything that's important to us. Where better to bury truth than inside something as ordinary as a video game?
Superficially, we could think that this is a criticism towards the existence of video games, because as Bugs said, they are ordinary, but the reality is something much deeper, and that is that video games are used by the system as a method of control. They are simulated prisons. Thomas spent his days creating models and immersing himself in video games where he pretended to be Neo. He escaped to the world of video games so as to not deal with his sad reality, not knowing that he could be much more than a game developer. This is one of the first criticisms in the film, and it is not only towards video games, it's towards all hobbies. Trinity builds and repairs motorcycles as a hobby. The movie's critique is that things like our recreational activities are used by the system to control us, to limit our potential. A person who wastes their days immersed in amusement, ignoring reality, might never reach their maximum potential, no matter what the hobby is, and this often benefits the system. In the case of video games, something that is considered to be art by some and beloved by many ends up falling into the hands of corporations whose only desire is to maximize profitability, to make as much money as possible. They use your information, your tastes, and then exploit them against you. They sell your information to marketing companies, who will then in turn use said information to sell you products. Video games exemplify the same thing that Bugs mentions. The Matrix, or the system, takes our hopes and dreams and uses them against us. If you are a gamer, surely you have felt this. The companies you once loved and the games you grew up playing today seem to be shadows of their former selves. Their focus now is not so much on entertainment, but to seek to create addicts that waste their money and time. But this criticism does not stop on video games. It also covers the issue of social and media platforms like Netflix and Facebook. As shouted by the Merovingian,
"We had style, we had conversation, not this beep 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 beep."
This is because the system has taken control of all aspects of society, not just video games, all of our hobbies. Why? The analyst reveals several factors that are used today in our society. One is the principle of necessity.
Did you know hope and despair are nearly identical in code?
When the analyst said this, we think about how our society uses the fear of what could happen to sell us products. They are selling us hope. How many people have dreamed about having a new car or a house of their own? These hopes and dreams make us dependent on the system that uses the dread of losing these expensive things to sell us insurance. The same can be said for social networks. The dream of being famous leads many to spend what they can't spare and to do things they wouldn't have done before. The fear of being alone or not standing out is also another incentive. In social media, fear and hope are the dominant emotions. Video games, hobbies, social media, the internet, and other systems of control share something in common, and that is that they make us feel good. Everything is based on emotional control, creating simulations where we leave reality behind, as described by the analyst.
So he never bothered to realize that you don't give a shit about facts. It's all about fiction. The only world that matters is the one in here. And you people believe the craziest shit. Why? What validates and makes your fictions real? Feelings.
So what does all of this mean? Could it be that our hobbies are bad? Or that we shouldn't have fun repairing motorcycles or playing video games? What the film wants to tell us is that we need to be careful because the things we do for fun are being used against us by the system. They take our fantasies and turn them into jokes for their financial gain. These methods of escapism sometimes prevent us from reaching our potential. We sometimes let fear and hope, perpetuated by social media and technology, dictate how we live our lives. The system feeds on our hopes and fears, like parasites. Seeing the society that we live in and how corporations have taken control of everything we love, The Matrix is more relevant today than ever before.
Sometimes it feels like people gave up. Like The Matrix won.
But do you agree? What do you think about the movie's criticism of the system using our favorite pastimes to control us?
The place where you live is not the place you once dreamed of? Are you sick of your hot and filthy Zion apartment? Then we have the solution for you. Bad credit or criminal history? We can wipe your slate clean and give you a fresh start. We at Megacity Realty can find you the most luxurious real estate, where you can spend hours playing your favorite virtual reality video game, eating the most delicious meals, and having an endless supply of blue medications. What are the blue pills for? No need to worry, because you will be bathing in the most phenomenal bathtub, with the best view of the city, and only minutes away from the best cafeteria in the city. Why wait? Contact one of our agents and be reconnected to the home of your dreams. Megacity Realty. Offer valid while the truce lasts.
For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.